After dinner, they all moved to the living room where servants served desserts and drinks. Kaden and Maya had a mission, and after one drink, they went to take a stroll in the garden before heading to bed. Before calling it a night, Kaden and Maya planned to roam through the pack house of the Red Moon Pack, looking for an opportunity to eavesdrop on some conversations from the Omegas, or maybe even join in and ask questions. Damon's wolf fidgeted, craving to inhale the sweet, citrusy scent of freesia and locate its source, despite Damon telling him it wouldn't happen. After an unknown measure of time, Damon stood up abruptly. "I will retire for the night." Everyone looked at Damon with obvious confusion on their faces, but Damon pretended not to notice. He turned to Alpha Edward. "I hope that after breakfast we can continue our discussion from this afternoon." Without waiting for Alpha Edward to respond, Damon went to his room. He opened the window of his room and took a deep breath. "Damn it! What's wrong with me?"
"You know what's wrong, and you know how to fix it,"
his wolf responded.
"Why are you resisting? This is a fight you can't win."
Damon rubbed his face forcibly. He knew that his wolf told him to find Talia, aka the girl with the coppery-colored hair. But Damon had no intention of succumbing to this temptation. Damon was a stubborn guy who needed to be in control. He always hated when someone tried to manipulate him. And this time, his own nature made him feel and do strange things. He would not give in. "May I come in?" Damon swiftly turned toward the door to see Marcy peeking in. He wondered if she even knocked, but even if she did, he probably wouldn't have noticed. He never felt this distracted. What if that was an enemy? Damon would be a sitting duck. That copper-haired girl already caused him to be weak, and he didn't even acknowledge their mate bond. For Damon, this only proved that the girl was dangerous, and he should stay away from her. No matter how tedious it felt to fight against his urges, it seemed better than being dead. "Why are you here?" Damon's sour mood showed. Marcy took his question as an okay to enter. She closed the door behind her and walked toward Damon, stopping when she was one step away from him. "You look tense," Marcy said while reluctantly putting her palms on Damon's firm chest. "I can help you relax." Damon's lips lifted into a half smirk. "And how would you do that?" Marcy licked her lips while remembering the velvety texture of him in her mouth. She wanted to caress him with her tongue. "I know that nothing is confirmed, but technically we are engaged." Damon observed her fingers as they moved slightly. She felt him out over the thin fabric of his shirt. He noticed the big ring on her right middle finger, an oval-shaped ruby with small diamonds surrounding it. One more luxurious accessory that matched the style of the Redmayne family. Damon looked at her almond-shaped blue eyes, straight nose, and full lips, and he confirmed that she objectively appeared attractive.
"Don't do anything you will regret later,"
his wolf growled. "Stay out of this," Damon spat back. His wolf snorted.
"You will regret this."
And then he retracted to the back of Damon's mind. Damon felt his wolf's anger and dejection, but he decided to ignore it. Unaware of the conversation Damon had with his wolf, Marcy inched closer to Damon and she smiled seductively. "I can..." Before Marcy could finish her sentence, Damon's hand landed on the back of her head and he pulled her closer for a kiss. His tongue plundered her mouth mercilessly. No one ever kissed her like that. Even with a kiss, Damon exerted his dominance, letting her know what it meant to face an alpha and making her heady in the process. She had no idea at what point they reached the bed. They sank in the mattress with Damon on top, and Marcy gasped for air for a brief moment before Damon sealed her lips again with his. His touch lacked gentleness or care. Damon vented his frustration as he searched for a way to release the tension that suffocated him, and the scent of Marcy's arousal hit him hard. Marcy's mind spun in a tizzy. She felt his hand work up her thigh with urgency, all the way to her hip, where he found the edge of her panties, and she jolted when he ripped them in one swift move. Damon's hand moved toward the cradle of her thighs, and she moaned into his mouth. Marcy snapped from her stupor and grabbed his hand. She found nothing wrong with touching and petting, but she felt that Damon would not stop at that. Not before. Damon growled in frustration when he realized that Marcy changed her mind. What happened with, "We are technically engaged"? Are you saving yourself for marriage? Marcy felt flustered, and it took her a few long seconds to collect herself and respond. Not necessarily marriage, but I at least need to know that we are going in that direction. We can do other stuff. Damon shook his head in disapproval. He pushed himself off the bed and ran his hand through his hair. Marcy pissed him off. She came on to him and then she stopped him, and now she listed conditions? Who did she think she was? What kind of game did she play? Get out. Marcy didn't get it. She clarified things she willingly would do, and he told her to get out? What? I said, get out! Marcy looked at Damon's eyes, which stirred with violence, and she swallowed hard. Other than feeling scared shitless by Damon's overwhelming alpha's command, she felt convinced that Damon would kill her if she didn't obey right that instant. Marcy scrambled off the bed and dashed out. Damon returned to the window and leaned over the windowsill. He looked at the crescent moon and exhaled in frustration. Is this what you planned for me? Damon asked under his breath, even though he knew that the moon goddess would not respond. She never responded. They said that the moon goddess had a plan for everyone, that everything had a purpose, but Damon doubted it. What purpose did his parents' unexpected deaths serve? What purpose did his best efforts for the Dark Howlers Pack serve, only to be labeled as cruel? What purpose did being the alpha of the largest pack serve, when so many others wanted to manipulate him? What purpose did his power serve if he had to play by the rules others set? And finally, what purpose did finding his mate serve? Damon didn't want any of it. If he had one wish, he would want to become a nobody, invisible, someone who could move without being noticed or coveted. He would live a modest life and do whatever he wanted to do, when he wanted to do it. And this, no matter how Damon looked at this, it seemed that the moon goddess set on torturing him. Damon often wished to escape from everything, but those were only fleeting thoughts he knew would never come true. The responsibility for the Dark Howlers Pack ingrained itself into Damon, and he would never be able to leave. Tens of thousands of people looked up to him, their alpha. They relied on him to keep them safe and lead them to a better future, and that's what Damon swore to do. Hey, can we talk? Damon spoke to his wolf, only to meet silence in response. Damon felt that his wolf sulked in disapproval of what just happened. Well, nothing happened. But if Marcy didn't stop him, it would have happened. Damon threw his arms in the air angrily. Fine. Stay quiet.
Wait, that's not the end. You've just had a free taste. Now get the full story on the Pocket FM app, link in description. Check out our next video and playlist, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.